Good morning, good day, good afternoon. And here you are with the Bobbi Jo and Sheena show. Moi being Bobbi Jo, and my best girl here, Miss Sheena, next to me. And today our topic is going to be practice your praxis. Now, praxis is a word that Sheena and I were just talking about it. We didn't even know what the word meant 4 years ago. So, Sheena, I'll let you explain what praxis means.
So here's just an example of a real life example of Sheena Kantar. So you get all this knowledge, and you know and know and know so much, and in fact you're really good at reaming off streams of words and quotes and everything, and everybody's going, "Oh my goodness, you just look so amazing!" And when you're in a conversation and people are like, "Oh my goodness, you know this, you know that," so very very intellectual. But here's the thing: I thought I was practicing it, I thought I was doing it, I thought I was being it, and I wasn't at all. All I was literally top heavy. Now, that top heavy, your consciousness is about 2%. The rest of it, and the 98%, was actually coming from lack. So I had all the knowledge about how to be positive and how to have this, have that, have the other. But the rest of me was coming from lack, and I was completely unaware of it. So let me just give you one example. You've got a great attitude when things are going well for you, like you can do anything, and you've got a great attitude. Then whenever things go south, your attitude sucks, and you do your pity party and why is this not working out for me? What have I done wrong? Etc. etc. That is not a good attitude. That is an attitude dependent on the circumstances. That is not praxis. So say you wanted to be a millionaire, and you say in the morning, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. But by the time lunchtime comes, somebody's asked you to go for a coffee and you've gone, I can't afford it. I can't do that. Oh, I haven't got the money for that. Boom. That's praxis. Belief and behavior must match. That's my way of describing it. But I just had to use my own example of me, because, the knowing doing gap just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until I fell over. And then, yeah.
And then knowing and doing gap is knowing and doing gap is another lesson that we coach. But praxis, aligning your belief with your behavior. So what is it? You have to really get down to, what do you really believe? And that's where we talk about this. It's pen to paper, because up here is chaos, and you got to get clarity. Sorry. What is your belief? I'm doing a workshop next week, so I was kind of making up some slides this morning just before jumping on here. So I've been in the belief thing that, there's so many beliefs, and especially it's the old cultural paradigm that, money doesn't grow on trees. What was the other one that I had? I wrote it down somewhere. I had pieces of paper. Oh, you have to know your beliefs about money. What are your beliefs about relationship, about love, about your health? I wrote even my cars. I have this belief that the check engine light, it'll go away. Like kind of like Star Wars, and it's not a thing. And so I just let it go on and on. And back in the day when I was a whitewater rafting guide and very poor, I had this little Nissan truck, and it used to go. And people would say, "Oh, your water pump is going." And I thought, it's fine. I drove it for years, and it just went away. And so my belief is that my car was safe. That car drove over 320,000 miles. I had no doubt in it would take me where I needed to go, until a drunk driver had to T-bone me and run a red light one day. But even then, I drove that old Nissan away. But then the insurance company totaled it. That car I had bought for $1,000. It was an old engineer boyfriend's their trade-in price. So I just bought it for $1,000. I drove it 13 years, and I ended up getting $1,300. So I made $300 in 13 years off a car, and I never paid attention to it. I just drove with bald tires. I didn't care. Nothing ever happened. And oh, you're lucky. I really think it was a belief. I just was sure I would get to the next destination. So that brings me up to another point. I remember seeing this once on Facebook about a year ago. One of my old neighbors, she wrote down that, oh, I knew I was getting broke down for the way home from Boston. I got a flat tire. I knew this was going to happen. I called her. I was like, you knew it was going to happen. You created it. See, some people, you don't get this. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But thoughts are energy. So what are you thinking? And if you're on the friggin' treadmill, whatever, the gerbil with the hamster wheel, that one. If you're on the hamster wheel running and running, it's because you're choosing to keep going, reacting. You need to go, holy shit, look, whoop, I can jump off that wheel and watch it go. Oh my God, that's so exhausting. right? Knowing yourself. Sorry, I'm going crazy. Knowing yourself and getting the belief of what it is true in your heart. And go, I refuse to believe I'm poor. I can afford the coffee. Actually, you know what? I'm going to buy someone else a cup of coffee today. No millionaire goes around looking at price tags. And I'm only talking about millionaires because it seems like that's what everybody wants. And you know what? The belief is that's not what you want. It's what it brings you. It brings you the freedom. It brings you the time. It brings you to bring the presents and the vacations. It's not the money itself. So you have to write out all this in your mind. I'll let you talk in a minute, Sheena, and you can take it away for the rest of the day. But you need to write it down because that's the clarity. Sit your ass down and get know you and what you want and get in alignment. Do you feel the praxis now? Yeah, you do, right? You feel that. Get in alignment with what you want. Drop out of the head. This is logic. This is fear, and drop into your heart. And you can say, "Oh, that's easy for you to say, Bobbi Jo, and you don't have you have a roof over your head. You have someone this, you have that, right?" But it's the belief. It's the faith. Why are you here? What's the worst thing that could happen to you? You're gonna end up on the street? I doubt it. You can come live with me. Take it away, Sheena.
I mean, sometimes, like we can sit there and just go, oh my goodness, well, I don't know what my beliefs are. You do know what your beliefs are. Your beliefs are shown in the world. So it's like we think in secret it comes to pass. The environment is but our looking glass. But that's the thing, is that there's so many different things, intricate things. And, Bob Proctor was one of saying, most people are walking around ignorant. It doesn't mean that you're being ignorant. It's just that we haven't got the knowledge to know who we are. And one of the ways that we studied was to put all this good knowledge in, and then it would disturb the belief system, and then it would chuck it out. And so you get a bit of chaos that goes on, and it disturbs everything. And then you find you sort of like raise a level, and you get your clarity up here. So if you don't have money coming in, then you may have a belief there that's just going, well, I don't deserve it, or I'm not worthy, and one of the things that I realize is that people are walking around in debt to the world. Like the world's in debt. I mean, to who? I really don't know, but the whole world's in debt. And who are they in debt to? Themselves. So we've been growing up with this paradigm of owing people. And so when you give money, you're like, I'm expecting it back. Or, when you have some money, then I've got to pay it back. And we carry that's one of the things, actually, Bobbi Jo, that I realize is that I know they bring it back maybe to religion and the apart, and dying on the cross or whatever, that our sins were all taken away. But we're all walking around actually owing people. So we don't feel that we're paid in full. We always feel like I owe Bobbi Jo, I owe somebody else, I owe this, I owe that, or the other. But if we could actually feel, no, I'm paid in full. There's nothing I ever did wrong. And to be honest, Bobbi Jo, that's the main bottom line feeling that I realized that people had. I certainly had that feeling of wrongness, and the bottom line, owing people. And, that's the thing that if we can flip that, that's a paradigm switch. But as we were talking about practicing the praxis, it's one thing knowing it, and it is an absolutely other thing doing it. And I was just saying to Bobbi Jo today how there's some things going on right now, and I'm really having to walk my walk and practice every single thing that I have preached. And I realize that I've probably been trained for this moment right now, and that's what I'm doing. And it's like a tightrope. I mean, for anybody who's going through, tough times, it is like a tightrope, but you can choose to be happy, even if it's only for the next 5 minutes. Just do it for then, and then maybe you can get to lunchtime, or maybe you can get to tea time, and just keep recalibrating, regardless of what's going on in the world. Because Bobbi Jo, you were talking about alignment of self, and that's all we're looking at, is to literally go with that flow. And Bobbi Jo's going to take me whitewater rafting, but anyway, and it's literally going with that flow. And she's going to be telling me that when I'm going to be going down those rapids and everything, go with the flow, just go with it, move with it. And that's what we're learning to do with life. So
yeah, Sheena, I know. And I know Sheena and I have a funny relationship because we are mindset coaches. We don't always get into what we're going through in the moment in our life because we don't want to give it energy. But right when Sheena said that tightrope, I could see it for her. I could see her between two skyscrapers up on that rope. And right now that is her reality. But I would say, it's about training the mind to get into the feeling. Fast forward 5 years from now, right? This too shall pass. Think of yourself by here at the lake house, whatever, by the pool, wherever we are on vacation. Think of something in the future, or think, when I'm dead, is any of this of going to matter? But in the moment, our ego or whoever, we're just so intense, like, where's the next meal? How am I going to sleep tonight? Where's the bill? Whatever it is, my health, whatever it is concerning it's so overwhelming. I can just see it on the tightrope. It's like nothing is mattering but that teetering right now. But if you could almost get a bird's eye view like a drone and take yourself away, and look at your life's path, the whole path of it, this is just a small time of it. But when we're going through it, it's friggin' intense. I can tell you. I almost dropped the F-bomb there. So with that said, it is the practice. It's going, okay, this is real. Sometimes get it out, get a punching bag, cry it out, allow yourself those 5, 10, 20 minutes, whatever, but then be like, whew, okay, that's done. Then get like on a rebounder and be like, my life is great. Whew, and sing a song and dance and get that vibration up, because you don't want to be just going down that hole. And it's easy to do that. We've all been there. I've had to put myself to bed a few times, like at 2 p.m. You're like, I'm done with this day. I'm done. That's, it's not all, roses or peaches, whatever the saying is. It isn't. Sometimes it is the work, even with the mindset. It's always that training. And I've said it before. We're here, Mount Everest. You go up, you come down. You go up, you come down, right? And it's sometimes you just are like taking the back slope, just enjoying the ride, remembering what we've learned, getting our will. You can't work out every day, 7 days a week. Even if you're an Iron Man, you need days to rest. And even with the mindset, you got to reset that button. You got to pause. So practice pausing and then gear up to do the praxis. What's your belief? What's your behavior? I know exactly where Sheena and I are going and what's going on with us. There's no doubt. But sometimes it is a little fearful. False evidence appearing real.
And what's the other one? I put a thing on LinkedIn, and it was about an elephant running up to these men, and these men didn't move at all. And in fact, the man actually stepped forward into it, and the elephant just stopped and actually started backtracking like that. It was an incredible image. So I put it on my LinkedIn profile, and it was, face the, what is it? So I know it's false evidence appearing real, but it's also face.
Oh.
I can't remember what the rest of it was, but I mean, that image has really stuck with me about just standing and, and seeing it. But it's, practicing the practice is basically, I've given an example before about my mum. My mum was afraid she'd fall and break her hip and die like her mum did. And I would say, well, why don't you think this? Why don't you think that? This is sturdy. I can hold on to this. I'm going to be, and she said it was too much effort. And it was too much effort to think positively, and so she did fall and break her hip. Yeah. But also, when you're talking about surrender, I heard it a really good way, actually, that another good friend of mine told me yesterday, that she saw surrendering, that we actually surrender to our own path of thinking, because it's so easy to let that little flow in, I'm surrendering. This is the only way, because I'm so used to going down that path. And actually learning to give yourself a command and going, no, this is how I am. I'm happy today. I'm grateful today. I am happy and grateful. And it reminded me to use those words, I am, and that I wasn't actually surrendering, because I was calling it maybe active surrender. Mm-hmm. But actually it's more of a command that I'm okay. Mm-hmm. There is, and to literally practice the I am commands, because that's your source code. Anything you say after I am is a source code. And so before this call, I'll just be honest, I had a little bit of a well up moment, with things a little bit overwhelming. And it was just literally understanding that I could see it coming up, but it's not me. It's not me. It's just, I think frustration was arising. So somebody's saying here, being grateful is a superpower. It is. It's absolutely a superpower.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I'll put that on. I don't know who the Facebook user is. It's but that's what they said there. Being grateful is a superpower. So that's totally amazing.
It is. Thank you. We love that. Yay for you to do it. The first comment, but it doesn't matter. You know what? But this is the thing. We're human beings. This is the journey. We are human beings. And I heard that thing you sent me this morning is that, like, this is a tough one, being here as human beings and walking this walk here, But
wasn't it? It was brilliant. It was just like, this is the masterclass being on Earth. We are super.
That's it. You're so good at remembering things verbatim that way. But it's the human being. I liked what you had to say there about the source code, though, Sheena. And then, we've been at 15 minutes here, so it's time to get off. But Praxis, what is your belief? Are you walking your talk? And yeah, work on those superpowers. Your imagination is a superpower. You're grateful is a superpower. Persistence is a superpower. So, I want for Sheena, if she was having a wee moment earlier, I'm liking how I'm picking up the little accent we, if you're picking it up, it's like, get off this, feel my energy, take my energy, love, and be like, I am fucking incredible. I know where I'm headed. I am not gonna bow down to these feelings and how I feel today, because I am a superpower. I know we are the highest form of creation here on earth, and you are here to just crush it, Sheena Kantar. You're my best friend, and I believe in you, and you're going to go amazing places. You already have. It's just the ebb and flow, right? It's the ebb and flow. We're not flatlining here, people. It's the ebb and flow. So work on those superpowers. Great word to say. Be gratitude. Gratitude. Work on that praxis, your belief with your behavior. And that's all I got for today. And it's a Friday. Woo.
Have an absolutely awesome everybody, and remember, practice your praxis. Just make sure you're in alignment, and no more arguing with yourself. That's the worst thing. The best thing, just agree with yourself, accept yourself, acknowledge yourself, allow yourself to be yourself, appreciate yourself, and stay aware to that. See you next time.
Namaste.